Today, I have a story to share with you. It is a profound journey, a tale of love, betrayal, and ultimately, resilience. This story is titled The Architect, The Prodigal Brother, and a Family's Reckoning. It revolves around Ethan Vance, a meticulous architect who navigated the tumultuous waters of family dynamics, self-discovery, and heart-wrenching betrayal. Ethan Vance grew up in a picturesque coastal town in the Pacific Northwest, a place where the winds carried the salty scent of the ocean and the trees whispered tales of old. However, amidst this serene backdrop, Ethan often felt like a mere accessory, a shadow that lingered in the vibrant glow of his younger brother Liam. While Ethan devoted his time to diligent study, aspiring to become an architect, Liam basked in the attention he garnered as the family darling, a charming, free-spirited artist pursuing a passion for music that seemed to effortlessly fascinate their parents, Eleanor and Robert Vance. Reflecting on his childhood, Ethan recalls a vivid memory that left a lasting imprint on his heart. He had just received the life-changing news of a full scholarship to a prestigious architecture program on the other side of the country. Yet, in what should have been a triumphant moment, the celebration took on a different tone. His parents threw an extravagant party, but it was not for him. The waves of praise and admiration were directed solely toward Liam, who announced his decision to pursue music locally. Ethan's achievement was hardly mentioned, a mere afterthought in a celebration that was not meant for him. It was moments like these that cultivated a deep-rooted resentment in Ethan's heart. Growing up overshadowed by Liam's charisma made it all the more difficult for Ethan to carve out his own identity, an identity built on hard work, ambition, and a desire to create. Feeling unappreciated and unseen, Ethan sought distance. The moment he moved to a major city on the East Coast at 20 years old, he embarked on a journey of self-sufficiency. Each brick laid in his burgeoning career was a testament to his relentless determination. Ethan poured his heart into his architecture studies, funding his education through scholarships and part-time jobs, while building a life that was truly his own. He minimized contact with his family, exchanging only perfunctory holiday texts, choosing to prioritize his newfound independence. It was not long before he met Chloe, a free-spirited freelance graphic designer who saw the world as Ethan did, with both imagination and realism. They married 5 years later, and for a time Ethan finally felt worthy of the love and support he had longed for throughout his childhood. But life has a way of pulling the rug out from under us when we least expect it. 5 years into his marriage, and just as Ethan began to believe that he had found a semblance of happiness, his brother Liam reached out. After facing personal troubles in his faltering music career, Liam expressed a desire to mend the frayed threads of their familial bond. Grudgingly, Ethan agreed to visit their hometown during the holidays, bringing Chloe along, hoping for a fresh start, a rekindling of brotherly ties. During the visit, however, Ethan could not shake the nagging feeling in the pit of his stomach as he watched Liam's overly attentive interactions with Chloe. He tried to brush it aside, convincing himself it was just his personal insecurities resurfacing. Yet the unsettling familiarity struck him like a muted chord in an otherwise vibrant symphony, a subtle foreshadowing of the turbulence to come. A few months later, the unexpected arrived. Chloe announced her pregnancy, a moment that should have filled Ethan's heart with joy instead brought forth an avalanche of confusion. The darkness loomed closer as he began to notice the frequency of Liam's calls to Chloe during his absence, the connection blossoming in a way that made Ethan's heart ache with unspoken dread. One sleepless night, questioning his own thoughts, he found an old tablet of Chloe's, inadvertently logged into a messaging app. What he uncovered shattered his reality. Intimate conversations between Chloe and Liam spoke of a clandestine relationship, a web of deception about to ensnare his life. As the heavy weight of betrayal settled on his shoulders, Ethan braced himself for a confrontation that would change everything. The path ahead was fraught with heartbreak, and he was just beginning to grasp the depths of his family's entanglement. The stage was set for a family reckoning. It was a journey fraught with pain, but it was also a stepping stone toward reclaiming his identity, a journey that demanded resilience and the redefinition of what family truly meant. This is just the beginning of Ethan's story. In the following parts, I will take you through the emotional landscape he navigates, the tumultuous encounters with love and betrayal, and ultimately, the hard-won lessons of resilience that we can all learn from. Join me on this journey as we delve deeper into the complexities of family, betrayal, and the pursuit of self-empowerment. Today, we continue the journey of Ethan Vance in The Architect, the prodigal brother, and a family's reckoning. In the previous segment, we witnessed Ethan's disheartening childhood overshadowed by familial favoritism and years of estrangement. Driven by a need for independence, he built a successful life in marriage, only to have his world shattered by betrayal. In this part, we delve deeper into Ethan's emotional turmoil and transformation, from despair to self-sufficiency, as he strives to reclaim his sense of agency in a world that has turned its back on him. As Ethan settled into his new life in a bustling city on the East Coast, he constructed a resilient exterior that belied the scars of his past. The architectural firm where he worked became more than just a place of employment. It became a sanctuary where his meticulous nature, honed from a lifetime of feeling overshadowed, could thrive. Every sketch he produced, every design he conceptualized, was imbued with his fervor to carve out a life that was distinctly his own, far from the shadows of his childhood. The initial distance from his family felt liberating. The burden of expectation evaporated as he embraced autonomy and rekindled his passion for architecture. Yet the emotional investment he made in his work was not one of complete detachment. Ethan's heart carried the weight of his estrangement from Liam, a void he believed would remain unfilled. Although he had created a fulfilling existence for himself, the echoes of betrayal, the hollow sounds of family gatherings, absent laughter, and the continual heartbreak of being replaced by his younger brother lingered in the background. 5 years later, when Chloe entered his life, the winds seemed to shift. She embodied the artistic spirit Ethan had long admired. Her creativity breathed life into their home. With Chloe, Ethan felt a sense of belonging. Her laughter painted over the cracks of his past, allowing him a glimpse of what love could truly be. They navigated their life together, sharing coffee-soaked mornings and planning excursions that sculpted new memories. It felt like a fresh start, healing the wounds he thought he had concealed behind walls of stone. However, when the call for reconciliation came, it sparked a flicker of cautious hope within him. The prospect of reconnecting with Liam felt momentous, evoking a strange mixture of excitement and apprehension. Despite their tumultuous history, Ethan grasped the chance to restore their brotherly bond. Yet little did he know that this seemingly innocent visit home was a stepping stone toward a much darker revelation. Traveling back to the coastal town, Ethan felt a cacophony of emotions: nervousness, uncertainty, and perhaps even a tinge of anticipation. As he and Chloe entered their childhood home, encased in nostalgia, he found himself longing for warmth and acceptance. But just beneath the surface of that yearning lay a surging tide of familiar bitterness, reminding him of past grievances. He held on to hope, believing this visit could lead to an opportunity for healing. Ethan meticulously observed the interactions during their family gatherings, where Liam spun tales of his artistic endeavors, basking in the admiration of their parents. Yet over these same days, Ethan could not shake the unsettling familiarity in Liam's demeanor when it came to Chloe. It was all too uncanny, a reminder of the subtle shifts in familial dynamics that had troubled him throughout their shared childhood. Was he simply imagining things, or was this the burden of doubt resurfacing, threatening to eclipse what he believed might be the beginnings of reconciliation? As the holidays progressed and the festive cheer enveloped them, Ethan felt a veil of unease tightly woven into the celebratory fabric of family ties. It was a smothering realization that spiraled further into chaos when, just a few months later, Chloe announced her pregnancy, a whirlwind of joy mingled with an undercurrent of panic. Ethan's heart swelled at the thought of becoming a father, but he quickly experienced a storm of confusion brewing within him. What should have been a serene moment was clouded by disquieting thoughts that unfurled like unwelcome vines. The tension escalated quietly, an insidious force seeping into his life. Ethan found himself questioning the nature of his relationship with Chloe more than ever before. The once innocent check-in calls between Chloe and Liam began to transform into a source of gnawing discomfort, often happening when he was out of the room, leaving fears unchecked and growing. Though he managed to keep his concerns at bay, they gnawed at him relentlessly. As Chloe's pregnancy progressed, deep-seated insecurities resurfaced, echoes of a childhood marred by constant comparison and overshadowing that whispered, "Am I once again to be the lesser brother?" Then, one fateful evening, as clarity had finally begun to dawn on his mind, his world came crashing down, a late-night discovery, the find that would strip him of everything he believed he had secured, exposed the painful truths hidden in plain sight. The intimacy he uncovered between Chloe and Liam shattered the facade of his quiet life, revealing patterns of betrayal that he had long deemed impossible in the realm of his carefully crafted reality. Overwhelmed by the revelations, Ethan spiraled into emotional devastation. He confronted Chloe, and a brutal argument ignited. Words were hurled like weapons, aiming at the core of their shared love. As verbal blows landed, Ethan felt his heart crack apart, leaving only the hollow shell of a man who had fought so hard to carve out his place in this world, only to be met with the ultimate betrayal. In the aftermath of the confrontation, the weeks that followed felt unbearably heavy, plunging him into an abyss of despair and turmoil. Bereft of the woman he loved and the family structure he had sought to rebuild, Ethan was consumed by grief. Yet out of this turmoil, the seeds of self-preservation began to take root. Unbeknownst to him at that moment, the confrontation and eventual breakdown of his marriage were catalysts for a transformation far beyond what he could anticipate. The inherent resilience within him would soon emerge, fueling a journey toward recovery and self-discovery, forcing him to confront the shadows of his past and reclaim his narrative. This segment serves as a crucial turning point for Ethan. As we transition to the next chapter of his story, we will witness his struggle to rise from the ashes of betrayal, seeking not revenge but strength through his work, dreams, and ultimately the resolute pursuit of his identity. In these moments, the intricate dance between pain and empowerment will unravel, proving that even in the darkest times, resilience can illuminate the path forward. Join me as we plunge further into Ethan's journey, exploring the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity and the pursuit of self-empowerment in a world rife with challenges. As we delve deeper into Ethan Vance's tumultuous journey in The Architect, the prodigal brother and a family's reckoning, we find that the bitter sting of betrayal has yet to fade. After the harrowing confrontation with Chloe, he is left shattered, grappling with darkness that overtakes him like an unending night. They say that wounds can be deeply transformative, and while he feels broken, Ethan does not yet realize that this very moment of devastation will eventually become the forge in which his newfound identity will be shaped. In the weeks that follow the collapse of his marriage, Ethan becomes ensnared in a fog of despair, each day blurring into the next. The very walls of his loft, which he had once viewed as a sanctuary of creativity, now feel more like a prison, echoing with lonely silence. Memories of laughter, shared dreams, and plans for a family are replaced by the haunting question, how could she betray me so deeply? He finds himself retracing their relationship, analyzing every interaction, searching for signs that he must have overlooked. The realization that he had invested his heart and soul into a facade sends him spiraling deeper into emotional turmoil. It is during this tumultuous period that Ethan comes to understand the depth of his emotional isolation. Friends, once eager to celebrate his successes, begin to drift away, seemingly unaware of the seismic shifts in his life. The community he had cultivated, fortified by shared dreams and aspirations, feels alienating now, like a distant island where laughter and joy do not reach him. Instead, he spends his nights nursing a heavy heart, staring at the remnants of joy that were once so vibrant. Yet in solitude, a glimmer of resilience begins to fracture the bleakness of his reality. The architecture he once loved becomes more than just a profession. It transforms into a healing outlet. Ethan begins to sketch again, channeling his pain into designs that reflect his emotional state. These creations, imbued with his grief and disillusionment, become cathartic endeavors that help him articulate the complexities that swirl within him. In each line drawn and each form shaped, he sees reflections not just of his tumult but of his strength, the grace that emerged from his struggle. While some days are suffocatingly dark, there are moments when a flicker of hope ignites his spirit. The city, with its bustling streets and relentless energy, offers him both distraction and inspiration. He immerses himself in his work, securing a project that pushes him creatively and professionally. The new urban development venture, a sprawling complex blending sustainable design with bold aesthetics, becomes a lifeline, pulling him closer to his core beliefs as an architect. Here he envisions a future that is not shackled by betrayal, but instead liberated by transformation. Despite being haunted by the ghosts of past relationships, Ethan begins to forge connections within his professional space. He rediscovers his passion for urban sketching, an artistic outlet he had long neglected during his turbulent marriage. This newfound dedication leads him to attend workshops and community events, where he finds interaction with others who share his artistic inclinations. As he engages with other creatives, he starts to rebuild a sense of belonging, even in fleeting moments of camaraderie that comfort him in his solitude. However, the road to emotional recovery is fraught with challenges. As the weeks morph into months, Ethan faces the aftermath of financial fallout from the divorce. Settling for a meager support agreement and resolving to hold on to his loft becomes a painful reminder of not just the relationship he lost, but of the resentment he harbors for a family structure that discarded him. These feelings are compounded when he learns of the struggles facing Liam and Chloe. With the birth of their child, Ethan finds himself embroiled in the notion that his loss is now compounded by the gain of those who wronged him, further fueling feelings of bitterness. The emotional atmosphere grows more complicated still when he receives a message from Eleanor, his mother, who reaches out to discuss family obligations. The tone of her text suggests desperation, invoking memories of their shared childhood and the sense of duty that Ethan had long since abandoned. He feels a cocktail of anger and hurt simmering within him. How could they expect him to adhere to the notions of family that had so deeply wounded him? It is within these moments that Ethan learns the importance of boundaries, beginning to understand that self-preservation is not synonymous with selfishness. As he digs his heels into his work, he resolves to rise above the chaos of familial obligations. Ethan shifts his focus to the project that sparks joy and creativity, and with each passing day he begins to reclaim not just his professional acumen, but his identity. The trials he faces fuel him, an insatiable hunger to prove to himself that he is indeed worthy of love and success, despite the betrayals he endured. The turning point comes when Ethan successfully pitches his urban development project to a panel of investors. It is a moment bursting with significance, a validation of his expertise and vision, far removed from the shadows of his brother's betrayal. Standing before the audience, he feels empowered, the buzz of excitement coursing through him as he conveys his passion for design. It is in this space that he recognizes a pivotal transformation has occurred. He is no longer a bystander in his own narrative. Ethan is learning that real strength lies not in yielding to the pain of betrayal, but rather in sculpting anew what is his, drawing from the ashes of destruction to create a brighter future. As the project unfolds, he pours his heart into every angle, reimagining urban life with renewed vigor. Slowly, the pulse of his passion beats strong once more, reminding him that he is more than a victim of his past. He is a proactive architect of his destiny. As we delve deeper into Ethan's journey in the next chapter, we will explore his transformation from despair to resilience, witnessing how he navigates the complexities of family and self-identity. We will see how the tide of self-discovery and empowerment begins to wash over him, drawing forth the architect's true potential in a life he is ready to define on his terms. Join me as we continue to unravel Ethan's unfolding story, witnessing the delicate dance of healing and triumph amid life's most profound challenges. As Ethan Vance gazed into the sleek lines of his newly designed urban complex, he could hardly recognize the person he had become. The shadows of betrayal had given way to a sense of purpose he never imagined he could possess after the brutal fallout from his marriage and family. Chasing away the ghosts of sleepless nights and tears shed in the solitude of his loft, Ethan had emerged like a phoenix, stronger and more determined to reclaim his narrative. He understood now that each betrayal, each wound, could be transformed into something potent and expressive. In the wake of his divorce from Chloe, Ethan found himself navigating not just the obtuse architecture of the building he was overseeing, but also the intricate layers of his own emotions. Months past their brutal breakup, as his career blossomed, he recalled what it was like to pour his heart into a project. This time, however, it was not just concrete and steel that he was shaping, it was the environment around him, the community that he had longed to be part of, a place that resonated with his professional ideals of connectivity and sustainability. The scars of betrayal were still tender, but they were healing, transforming into an unquenchable thirst for creation and effort that he had lost touch with. While Ethan pursued the complexities of his high-profile project, he also discovered the importance of introspection. Amidst the drawings and measurements, he found solace in urban sketching, a forgotten passion he embraced as a form of therapy. Each stroke of his pencil on a blank canvas became a cathartic exercise, a way to express his restored sense of self. He dreamed of vibrant public spaces where communities could come together, a vision where people could share laughter and solace amidst towering buildings. Transforming his surroundings reflected the transformation within. Yet as his work gained admiration, he faced the undeniable truth of lingering dread. The Vance family had not simply faded, they lingered. The reach of his mother, Eleanor, was potent. Her sorrowful texts began as gentle nudges, but quickly escalated into relentless emails that felt like a dogged pursuit through thickets of guilt. Each ding of his phone echoed the childhood feelings of inadequacy that had shaped his painful narrative of being overshadowed by Liam. How could they assert a newfound sense of family obligation after they had so passionately turned their backs on him? The turning point came when Eleanor crossed the line. The unnerving reveal of the Vance family's financial struggles came twisted on the surface of concern when she sought Ethan's financial assistance, bringing Robert along for an awkwardly arranged family video conference. They spoke bluntly of their dire circumstances and framed their plea not simply as a request, but as a calculated demand embedded within a cloak of obligation. "You are our son. Family helps family." Their words dripped with expectation, and Ethan felt a growing resentment flare up within him. No longer willing to submit to emotional manipulation, he resolved that the legacy of their favoritism would not dictate his future. Family? Ethan seethed silently. This is the family that has fostered a cycle of glorified favoritism to the detriment of a harmonious existence. In that moment, he recognized that a line had been crossed. Standing firm in front of his laptop, he crafted a message to his mother, terse yet potent. He would not serve as the family's scapegoat, nor could he provide financial relief for those who had closed ranks around deception. The message was simple: consider selling that oversized house, or find a real job. The sting of his refusal echoed in the Vance household. Eleanor's pleas became frantic, a barrage of texts and follow-ups that penetrated the shadowy recesses of Ethan's evenings. He refused to be swayed. Slowly, he devised a plan for emotional self-defense. If his family crumbled under pressure, it would not be his responsibility. He craved peace, not guilt. As Liam stormed onto the scene, the once beloved brother transformed into an unwanted interloper, filled with self-pity, who desperately sought to manipulate Ethan emotionally. "You are holding on to childish grudges," he whined, echoing their parents' sentiments. The irony was not lost on Ethan as he confronted Liam's sense of entitlement. Ultimately, he was reminded that the facade of familial loyalty had cracked. The naivety of their love was disastrous yet masked in a charming family portrait. Every confrontation left Ethan emboldened. Instead of declining into despair, he redirected his energy into a pursuit that offered actual fulfillment. He attended workshops for urban design, bouncing thoughts off of like-minded peers and building a collaborative space that fostered positive connections. Ethan was learning to navigate the fine line between autonomy and connection without the fear of betrayal encircling him. Through it all, bitterness subsided, and a growing sense of hope claimed its rightful place. Chloe had moved on, flaunting the new chapter carved from their tumultuous relationship alongside Liam. A mingled sense of loss accompanied this notion, but Ethan silenced the echoes of remembered love with the gleam of empowered ambition guiding him through the haze of emotional pain. He had reclaimed his story, one brushstroke at a time, using the artful cadence of urban connection to build a bridge toward future possibilities. And while familial bonds faltered, Ethan's journey fueled the fire of a new community, a space designed not just for coexistence but for shared healing. Every sketch contained a piece of him, intertwining both his past and his hopeful future, and he knew that this unwavering spirit was a testament that he would stand tall, architect of his life. As Ethan returned to the blueprints and sketches, he recognized that despite the crumbling facade of his family, he was, unarguably, building his destiny on solid ground, ready to begin again. As the city thrummed to life beneath the gentle glow of dawn, I found solace in the quiet shadows of my renovated loft. Each sketch of an urban landscape brought healing, the silent strokes of my pencil acting as a balm to my scarred spirit. I became more than just an architect. I was a creator, a storyteller channeling my emotions through the intricate designs laid before me. The days flowed together in a rhythm of creativity and design, a far cry from the emotional chaos I had endured not that long ago. My career blossomed into a multifaceted pursuit, leading a high-profile urban development project that would reimagine a crucial part of the city. Clients admired my vision, and with every meeting, I reclaimed fragments of my self-worth. The promotions and accolades came swiftly, yet they mattered little compared to the transformation I felt within. I had been entrusted with the opportunity to shape spaces that could foster real connections among people. Still, a constant ache remained deep in my chest, a reminder of the hollow familial bonds that left me feeling like a mere shadow. My childhood home became an echo chamber of heartache, one that I had thought only I inhabited. The Vance family, who had once lavished attention and praise upon Liam, was crumbling with each day that passed. Their misguided loyalty to him had turned into a slow descent into despair, as priorities shifted like sand beneath their feet. The very support my parents had extended to him now withheld their once beloved son in the shadows of dependency. Liam's music career had faltered tremendously, leaving him gasping for any air of success. It was a tragic tale of wasted potential that fed on the entitlement and privilege he had enjoyed for far too long. Chloe, too, struggled with the reality she had embraced. Their extravagant lifestyle, rooted in my supposed financial contributions, began to reveal cracks of its own. While my life flourished in the city, their new house, once gleaming with dreams of a perfect family, now stood as a monument to misguided decisions and complex lies. I learned, through painful whispers reaching me from the periphery, that my family had joined the ranks of endless financial troubles, their struggles echoing off the walls of an oversized home they could scarcely afford to maintain. As I embraced my hard-earned independence, I also waded deeper into a newfound community. I cherished conversations with neighbors and dedicated my evenings to urban sketching in bustling parks, coffee shops, and at the piers where hopefuls gathered. The vibrant life around me drew me in, and I marveled at the way interconnected lives unfolded. This artful massage of emotions provided a cathartic outlet, releasing decades of unspent anxiety. For the first time, I was building bridges, not in a structural sense, but in the connections forged with each friendly smile exchanged and every new conversation initiated. Hope began threading its way through my veins. Still, the Vance family found it easy to misinterpret my estrangement as an invitation to breach my sanctuary and reconnect. Unbeknownst to them, their familial antics were now lost on me. Eleanor's emotive calls turned into frantic pleas for assistance, as the pressure of their decaying circumstances began to tighten its grip on my once beloved family. The echoes of their frustrations bounced against the walls of my mind like distorted melodies from a forgotten childhood. It was not long before Eleanor first reached out, winding her words into a tapestry of guilt, aimed at securing my financial support. She spoke sweetly, nearly weaving in memories of our family picnics, recollecting times we had cared for one another as children. But I could hear the undertones. The desperation was suffocating, and guilt began to creep in. Did they truly believe that I would abandon the progress I had made to shoulder their burdens once more? In a climactic moment, I decided to face them, my heart pounding beneath my smartly tailored suit as the meeting unfolded via video call. Robert's grimace mirrored my mother's vulnerability, a perfect testament to their denial of responsibility. Their plea, shrouded in familial rhetoric, asked for a loan to resolve their mounting debts. I could feel a tremor of anger rise in me. They wanted my financial resources, yet they had never acknowledged my sacrifice before. "Consider selling that oversized house, or, find a real job," I said, my tone firm yet composed, severing the tether that once bound me to their manipulation. With a simple refusal, I took a stand against the specters of guilt and shame they had long weaponized. This was my moment to demonstrate that healing was more than just a personal journey. It was also a collective relinquishing of false obligations. Weeks melted away into months, yet they persisted with guile, framed in guilt trips and fervent entreaties for help. I remained steadfast, my resolve serving as a barrier against the tides of their emotional manipulation. I was no longer interested in their crying wolf. The venom of entitlement they had long nurtured had no place in my bright future. I humorously reveled in the role reversal. The family, now burdened by their own calculations, turned to me, the black sheep turned phoenix, for assistance. As I continued to unfurl my own identity, I took comfort in knowing that each burden they faced was not mine to carry. The karmic ride they embarked upon was a poignant reminder: you reap what you sow. And while I sketched urban landscapes teeming with vibrancy and connection, I reinforced my firm intention to embrace the golden opportunity awaiting me in a life free from the constraints of guilt, betrayal, and abuse. I had transformed my pain into purpose, and amidst the chaos surrounding the Vance family, I remained unflinching, a steadfast reminder that rebuilding one's identity is an artistic endeavor, much like the work I cherished most. As we conclude our journey through the unfolding tale of Ethan Vance and the complexities of familial relationships, I invite you to reflect on the themes of resilience, self-empowerment, and the importance of reclaiming one's narrative. Have you faced challenges in your own family dynamics? How did you find your path to healing? If you enjoyed this exploration of storytelling and the intricate connections we hold with others, please consider subscribing to my channel. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know which part resonated with you the most. Remember, your story matters, and your experiences have the power to inspire others. Stay tuned for more stories, insights, and lessons on navigating life's complexities. Until next time, keep building your own unique narrative and embracing the journey ahead. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.